So far in our demonstration we constructed 1, 2, 3 customer objects, and part of our testing code was printing one of them. So I'm just going to move this code down to the bottom of our demo method right here, and after all the changes and all the updates, I'll just print all of them: customer number 1, customer number 2, customer number 3, and just use this portion of the code to invoke the print method of our customer class right here, right, which is supposed to print the phone number and address all together. So let's take a look at this, at the result of printing. I'll save everything and run it, and you can see that this time what we have done is that when we construct our printout string from phone number, the phone number remains to be printed as expected, but the address has changed from string to a combination of data attributes encapsulated inside the class name address. So for debugging purposes, every object in Java can be converted to string. So by default, compiler generates code that constructs the result of this, which looks like week 10, which is the package name, then address, which is the name of the class, and then this hexadecimal value right here is the actual address location of this object in computer memory. So this is the default printout, which is fine for debugging, but if we'd like to build our business application, perhaps we need to add something that looks a little bit prettier than this when we print our addresses. So let's take care of this issue. And what I'm about to do, of course, I'm going to add operations. Okay, so we're going to add some operations to this class, and my operation is going to be public to string, and a method like this, public to string, and of course the return type will be a string. So the new method, the new operation that I'd like to add to my definition of the address is I'd like to define how it should be converted to string. And I'll say return, and I will start using the street address, right? Return street address plus space plus city, then plus another space, I think, right, plus the state, plus another space, and finally the state. Okay, so let's try something like this, and this is all that I want to return. Again, we can check with the default formatting option, so it's close to what I just tried. So this is how I would like to convert to string the definition of our address. And so this is something that I'd like to change. And just to let you know that whenever Java has to convert an object to a string, because here we're just deciding to use a reference to our class instance right here and convert it to a string, concatenate it with another string. Java by default uses predefined version of this method, and it's called toString. So whenever there is a predefined method like this, again, this will be discussed in the future, but proper way of doing it to add an annotation that's called override. Okay, the override on annotation, and this override on annotation makes sure that our conversion to string is done accordingly to the default rules of the original version of this. Anyway, so just wanted to show you this new operation, this new method that I added to our class named Address, where we define the toString method. Okay, so this is the closing brace, and now it should return the string that looks a lot nicer than the original version, the default version that was given to us by the compiler. So let's save this and run it the second time. Now you see that we're printing it a little bit better. So I made the mistake of printing state twice, right? So I just need street address, city, state, and zip, right? So I meant to use the zip code in the end. Okay, so we can fix that. So if we run it now, it looks like more or less a readable address right here.